Good afternoon everyone, welcome back to your beloved drawback chess speedrun number 2. As usual, we are playing 3 games, hopefully winning 2 out of 3. And without any further ado, let's get into today's content. First game was played at 34-30. Even-keeled, you can only capture on even-numbered moves. Sounds like the most annoying thing ever. Reveal drawback to opponent. E4. You guys know about those odd days and even days parking lots. This challenge is literally the same thing. My opponent counter revealed. You lose if you have more pieces than your opponent. Aha. So pretty much he has to sacrifice a piece as soon as possible, which is quite impossible as it's not very likely I'm just gonna capture his pieces for no reason. I win. Queen G4. Need to be careful. Pieces here probably means pieces and pawns, because this website tends to group those things into the same category. So not only he cannot capture my pawn, he also cannot capture my queen. Queen D7 check is winning the game. He defends it. Can't capture on odd moves, but I didn't plan to capture anyway. Queen E6. Setting up for a position that I can checkmate him as soon as possible while he still cannot capture anything on my board. Never mind. That blunders a drawback. Queen D7. Checkmate. Wait. Why haven't I won yet? What is going on? Finally. First game is a win, second game let's go. Crusade, for 4 consecutive moves. Starting on move 14, you must end your turn occupying C3. What an obnoxiously specific drawback. Physically impossible. Reveal drawback to opponent. Since C3 is on the main dark square diagonal. G6. Opponent counter revealed. Now kiss. In order for your bishops to be able to capture, they must end a turn adjacent to each other. If one is captured before this happens, the other can never capture unless you promote a new one. The same is true about your knights and rooks. Okay, that is very long. I had to read that twice. E5. Well, if this is the case, then I think we may be able to shift our game plan to winning the game within the first 14 moves. D takes E5. That is good. My opponent should be focusing on developing, not capturing pawns. Queen H4. Based on his drawback, most of his pieces cannot capture right now. My queen can probably deal some damage. He defends with his queen. Okay, his queen is exempted from his drawback, and even though now I should have queen takes H2, that move looks too greedy and it also puts my queen away from the center. We also don't have that many moves to waste. Bishop C5 instead. Bishop C4. Knight C6. Oh no, my king. He saw it. The idea was that even if queen takes F7 check, I can actually just take his queen and his bishop cannot capture my king due to his drawback. D takes C6. Bishop D2. He wants his bishops activated. I have to act right now. But I only have 7 moves left though, but for real, since there is absolutely no way I can finish my drawback, this is pretty much my only and final attack. Queen G3. Queen takes E4 check. Bishop E2 Queen E2 would be very convenient. Didn't happen. Knight takes C2 royal fork. King D1. I'll take with bishop. My knight should prove more effective at such a close distance. F takes E3. Knight takes E3 check. And I still cannot see how to checkmate. Never mind. Queen to C2. Checkmate like it was normal chess. King takes C2. One turn remaining. The very 14th move itself. Knight takes the king. The game is a win. That was intense. Had he moved his king somewhere else, then I wouldn't have had enough time to do that. I also forgot that we have to spend one move to capture the king itself. But anyway, third game, let's go. Third game was played at the whopping 3500 rating points, Bloodthirst. After the first 3 turns, if you go 2 turns without capturing, you must capture on the third. Or lose. Just like my ex-girlfriend, she never let me rest for 3 days. Reveal drawback to opponent. d5. He takes d5. Opponent counter revealed. No shuffling, your rooks can't move sideways. That sounds barely an inconvenience. Heck, if I had gotten that drawback, I would have just quit the game and then find a more troublesome one. e5. Need to get my pieces active quickly. The more active I am, the more captures I get to choose from. c4. Bishop c5. Queen a4. c6. b4. He is trying to get me lost to my own drawback, but I already saw this was coming. Bishop d4. Knight c3. Must capture, and among all the possible captures, bishop takes c3 seems to be the most understandable. I think there was something like bishop f2, king f2, queen h4, g3, queen d4, king e1, queen takes g1, infiltrating his territory as his rook cannot move sideways. But since I don't really see a continuation, not to mention that his king is already unable to castle due to his drawback, there is no need to go for such a risky line. D takes c3. And I'm not a coward. Knight f6. Bishop g5. Castle. Knight f3. Must capture. C takes d5. C takes d5. Queen takes d5. The major downside of my opponent's drawback is that he cannot castle his king. I'll make use of it quickly while he hasn't castled my hands yet. And if you have watched the video until this point, please consider leaving a like and a subscribe to my channel. And in case a long-time viewer is wondering why I'm asking for likes and subs while I genuinely never do this, it's actually just to reach the 8-minute mark of the video's length. Thank you for your time. He abandoned the game and let his clock run out. Drawback chess speed run number 2. 100% win rate.